Welcome to our channel, a place where real emotions, real journeys, and real transformations come alive. Here, every story is crafted with the intention to touch, inspire, and remind you of the strength that lies within the human heart. Whether it is a tale of love that endures storms, friendships that redefine loyalty, courage born from dark moments, or the resilience that pushes someone to rise after life has knocked them down, you will find something here that speaks directly to your soul. This channel is built for those who believe in the power of storytelling, those who understand that sometimes a single narrative can shift perspectives, heal wounds, or spark the hope needed to move forward. In this space, you will encounter experiences drawn from real lives, shaped by real emotions. Our purpose is not just to entertain, but to connect. Every video is made with care, aiming to remind you that behind every person you meet lies a story you know nothing about, a story that might carry more pain, strength, or bravery than you expect. By being here, you become part of a community that values empathy, compassion, and the belief that every human journey deserves to be heard. So subscribe and turn on the notification bell to stay connected. You will not want to miss the powerful stories we share, because each one is meant to leave an imprint on your heart. Today's story dives deep into the intertwined themes of love, betrayal, growth, and redemption. It follows two people whose lives crossed at a time when they least expected it, creating a bond strong enough to feel like destiny yet fragile enough to break under the weight of secrets. This is not just a narrative of romance or revenge. It is a journey of discovering what truly matters when everything you believed in begins to fall apart. The story begins with Aiden, a quiet and introspective young man whose life revolved around routine and responsibility. Growing up in a small town shaped him to be someone who valued honesty above all else. He had never been one for dramatic gestures or unpredictable adventures. Instead, he sought comfort in stability. Life had taught him early on that unpredictability often came with loss, and so he stayed within the familiar bounds of what he could control. Yet beneath that calm exterior lived a heart capable of deep love, even though he had never allowed himself to express it freely. Then came Maya, vibrant, fearless, and endlessly curious. She entered Aiden's life like a burst of sunlight through a stormy sky. Everything about her contradicted his quiet existence. She laughed without hesitation, dreamed without limits, and lived with the boldness of someone who had tasted both pain and joy and learned not to fear either. To her, life was meant to be explored, not endured. And from the moment their paths crossed, she saw something in Aiden that he did not see in himself. She saw potential, depth, and a kindness that the world often overlooked. Their connection grew slowly at first, built on conversations that lasted longer than planned and shared moments that lingered in their memories long after they parted. Aiden found himself opening up in ways he never had before, drawn to Maya's warmth and courage. Maya, in turn, discovered comfort in Aiden's steady presence. He grounded her in moments when her thoughts spiraled too fast, reminding her that she did not always need to be strong or fearless. In each other, they found something they did not even know they needed. But life, as always, carried hidden layers. Maya had a past she rarely spoke about, a past shaped by betrayal and broken trust. Years before meeting Aiden, she had placed her heart in the hands of someone who treated it carelessly. That experience left her determined never to be vulnerable again. Yet with Aiden, vulnerability came naturally, and that terrified her more than she admitted. She worried that if she let herself love him fully, she would eventually lose him, like she had lost so many things before. Still, the love that bloomed between them felt undeniable. For a while, it seemed strong enough to conquer anything. They made plans, shared dreams, and built moments that felt like a promise of a future together. It was the kind of love that makes you believe that fate truly exists, that sometimes two souls are meant to collide and become something new. But the past has a way of resurfacing at the most unexpected times. One day, Aiden discovered something Maya had kept hidden, a truth connected to her past betrayal, something she feared would change the way he saw her. To her, it was a wound she had tried to bury. To him, it felt like a breach of trust. Though her intentions had not been harmful, the secret shook him deeply. It reminded him of every reason he had built walls around his heart in the first place. For the first time since meeting Maya, he questioned everything: her honesty, their bond, and even his own feelings. The confrontation between them was painful. Maya tried to explain, her voice trembling with emotions she had spent years suppressing. She told him she hid the truth not because she wanted to deceive him, but because she feared losing him. Aiden, hurt and confused, struggled to understand how love and lies could exist together. His heart ached with the weight of disappointment, yet even in that moment, his love for her did not disappear. The days that followed were filled with silence, an empty, aching silence that neither of them knew how to break. Maya battled guilt and heartbreak, while Aiden faced the conflict between his fear of betrayal and the love he still felt. They were two people standing on opposite sides of a chasm created by misunderstandings and unspoken pain. But true love, when genuine, has a way of finding clarity. Over time, Aiden began to see beyond the initial shock. He realized that Maya had lived through experiences he could never fully understand, experiences that had shaped her choices and her fears. He remembered the countless moments she had supported him, believed in him, and brought light into his life. It became clear that her secret was not a betrayal but a scar from a past she had never healed. And he knew then that love meant accepting not only someone's strengths but also their wounds. Maya, too, reflected on her mistakes. She understood that love cannot thrive in fear and that trust required complete vulnerability, even when it felt terrifying. She wanted to rebuild what she had almost lost, not through promises but through actions. When they finally spoke again, it was not with anger but with honesty. They shared their fears, their regrets, and their hopes. Aiden forgave her, not out of weakness, but out of strength, the strength to choose love over fear. Maya let herself believe, perhaps for the first time, that she deserved a love that stayed. Their story did not end in revenge or bitterness. Instead, it became a testament to the transformative power of understanding and resilience. Love, they learned, is not perfect. It is fragile, complex, and at times painful. But when nurtured with trust, forgiveness, and courage, it becomes stronger than the mistakes that threaten it. This channel exists to share stories like theirs, stories that remind us that love is worth fighting for, that people can grow, and that sometimes the most powerful journeys begin in moments of heartbreak. Subscribe and stay with us as we continue to bring more touching stories that illuminate the beauty and depth of real human experiences.